What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. It is Tuesday. It's 6 o'clock. You know what that means. It's time for some fantasy football talk. Whoa, I hope you guys were able to watch our video earlier today. We did our waiver wire pickups. So we are here for you guys just in case you did miss it, or if you all have any questions that want to get answered live, we're here for it. Thank you guys so much. We hit 300 subscribers as of right now. I do believe we are at 301. Now we are on the road to 400. That 300 road was a very short one, which we are very happy about, very thankful as well. Rave, yo, here early. Hey, dude, I appreciate you. And again, thank you for the subscription. And sorry, we didn't get to your last comments at our last video. We saw it really late. We didn't know how to get back to you. Couldn't find you on social medias, but yeah, we do live fantasy football talk every Tuesday. We do live Monday football talk every Monday. We try to go live as much as we can, but we try to keep our community updated on when we do go live on our social medias. So if you guys want to, our social media platforms are right here down below. Check those out, and we can keep you guys updated. The best thing to do is go in our Discord so we get personalized right there. Abraham Pena says, "What's up, guys? Appreciate you coming back. I hope you guys are ready because this is the week, man. This is the week because if your trade deadline isn't up already, that means it's coming up, and it's coming up pretty darn soon. So it's time to make some moves and hit up that waiver wire. Waiver wire is king here, and this is why I love doing this. I get excited about fantasy football, as you guys could tell. Nice win, nice Niners win yesterday. Hell yeah, dude. Hey, nice Titans win Thursday. Sorry, Reed, but nice Titans win, brother. Yeah, I was thinking about you. I was like, oh, let's go, man. But appreciate that. Thank you very much. I was a very happy camper yesterday. Made some nice, good old ribeyes, man. Reverse seared those suckers for an hour. Nice and juicy. It was good. Abraham says, I'm struggling out here. I lost by 2 points, making me 5-6. Must win the next 3 weeks. I believe in you. And obviously, you care enough to learn about fantasy football. That's why you're on this show right now. And we're about to get into some more waiver wires. Like I said, we do have a video posted up earlier today about our waiver wire pickups, just in case you want to get straight into that. But, fellas, how are we doing? Vince, Reed, how are we doing in fantasy football?
This is a bad week for me. I lost in all three of my leagues. One of them, you absolutely just murdered me, and yeah, that was you. Yeah, that was you, AJ. Yeah, doing really bad out here, man. I need to regroup. Gotta make some waiver wire pickups. Gonna steal all your advice, and I'm gonna succeed because of that.
Wow. I won in 4 out of 5 of my leagues. I sadly lost in our NSP league because of 2 of my starters were out, so I had to go on the waiver wire. Those guys didn't do so hot. They both got hurt on the first time they touched the ball, and that was Kadarius Toney as well as Rondell Moore. So I lost that week by like 10 points.
I'm a victim too here, Vince. I went ahead and started Kadarius Toney. Go ahead and cue the clown music. That was me. I talked very highly. I didn't talk too highly, but I did talk highly about him last week. And yeah, I started. But who didn't talk highly about him? Abraham here, way to kick it off with the questions. He says, would you trade Najee and Sutton for Mixon and Garrett Wilson? I got Jacob Sanders, Monty, Jefferson, Pittman, McLaurin, Boyd, and Sutton. Must-win situation. I definitely love Mixon more than Najee Harris. And as far as Cortland Sutton, whenever Jerry Jeudy does come back, Sutton is going to go to the gutter. So I see that as a lateral move for Wilson. I think that's a pretty much of a win for you if you get that trade going on. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Reed.
Sorry, I was looking at something else really quickly. I like this. I like this a lot. Yeah, I like both Garrett Wilson and Mixon.
Yeah, I know Garrett Wilson had a bad week last week, but we saw Yo Mama Jama Zach Wilson come out and totally did not take any responsibility of that game. I could easily see the Jets putting Flacco in the next few weeks. And if Flacco does get in that starting position, you can see Garrett Wilson's stock just skyrocket up. Now, will be in time for you in the playoffs? I don't know, but I'd rather put my money there than Jerry Jeudy coming back and hoping that Sutton has the same productivity. Good question. Rave says start one at flex PPR. That's very important. Palmer, Mooney, DJ Moore, and Rashad White. I love Rashad White. And you know he's going to be getting those receptions, but this is the flex position. I'd rather much do a wide receiver here. And I don't like your options. Palmer had a great game last week. You saw Mike Williams re-aggravate that injury. You saw Keenan Allen be very limited. So if that's the same case, I'll definitely go Palmer. I think the safest bet here is Darnell Mooney. But we got to keep an eye on Justin Fields. He is dealing with a dislocated shoulder, so that could cause some inconsistencies when it comes to the passing game. I see Vince nodding his head. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, man, I was about to say that Darnell Mooney is the safe pick. The past 5 weeks, he's been in double-digit points 4 out of 5 times. So I personally have Darnell Mooney on 2 of my fantasies, and he started both of those this week. He did pretty well. He got about 14 points PPR, and he's been getting that for the past 4 or 5 weeks, just like I said. The only thing I'm kind of I think that the boom player here is Palmer. We saw him go out last week and get 2 touchdowns. Him and Herbert look like they're linking up pretty well, even though Keenan Allen was back. Mike Williams retweaked that ankle, and I think he will sit out this week just because that franchise is pretty set on keeping him healthy since they gave him a big contract. They want him for the long term, not just this week. So I think Palmer could be a boom guy, but Mooney definitely is a safe guy. Those other guys, they still need a few more weeks to get back on track, in my opinion.
Yeah, just got to keep an eye on Justin Fields there. Huge hiccup possibly. He also says, also good call on Singletary. He's looking good rest of the way. Hey, that's what we do here. I think it was Vince that made that call, correct? Yeah, so good job, Vince. I mean, that's what we do. We dive deep in this information so you guys don't have to. You guys should ask us straight up. We already did the studying. We did all the dirty work. We want you guys to succeed. But there was a little bit of a scare when it comes to the Bills and their backfield. I saw James Cook get involved very heavily. He is a pass catching back, and that's what he was used for, but he got more reps. Now, in the future, it's James Cook's position. I don't see Singletary being there next year. But for the rest of the season, unless Singletary gets injured, I think he should be a solid high-tier flex, low-tier running back too for your fantasy team. KJ, appreciate you coming back, man. Thanks for joining the stream yesterday. I was hitting you up in the comment section. Always love the support. He says, what's up, guys? Who should I prioritize more on waivers? Samaje Perine or Rachaad White? Rachaad, my man, you got to put respect on that name. Respect. Honestly, Samaje Perine, I view him as a streaming running back this week just because of the slight chance where it looks like Joe Mixon will be missing 1 week. As far as Rachaad White, Vince could attest to this because he stole him from right underneath my feet. He did. And I think he's going to be a running back 1 going towards the rest of the season. He's ready there about even with Leonard Fournette, even taking a little more snaps than him, and you can just slowly just see him just take over that position. I think Rachaad White has a bigger ceiling, but for this week, if you just need a running back this week only, Samaje Perine, 100%. Cool?
Yep, yeah. I agree.
Yep.
All right. Reed, take this question away.
All right. Also, you have Cole Kmet. Should I pivot off of him this week? Logan Thomas, Cade Oden, and Tyson Hill are on waivers, full point PPR. Me personally, I'll stick with Cole Kmet. I like Kmet. He had a slower week this past week, only 35 yards. I'm not positive on top of my head on how many catches, but I think he had 2 catches, Vincent. All right, so. I still like him moving forward. He is a main target for Justin Fields, and yeah, he had a iffy week, but Justin Fields coming off that week, an injury. But I as much as I hate the Bears and I want them to be bad, I really think that if I'm giving you honest advice, that the Bears are looking better moving forward, and they're going to have a bounce back game this next week.
I like that input. And honestly, I see Cole Kmet as a safety crutch this upcoming week. You have an injured Justin Fields, whether he plays or not. They're going against the New York Jets. You got Sauce Gardner over there. He's not going to line up against the tight end, right? So they're going to be checking down all game long. I actually think Cole Kmet should have a decent game this upcoming week, especially with a bum shoulder. He's not going to be throwing it down the field. He's going to be using his legs, and he's going to be checking down. Tanner Nelson, appreciate you being here live on the stream, brother. He has a question that says, should I trade Miles Sanders? He's in a full PPR league. Honestly, I have Miles Sanders as my trade high guy. You got to trade high on this guy because he looks great. He's on a winning team, but in a full PPR, you could tell you have more potential seeking elsewhere, right? So I would totally say, yeah, trade him, especially with his schedule coming down for the playoffs. But get someone of value, get someone who will be catching those passes. I would even trade someone like Travis Etienne. I like Travis Etienne a lot. He's not on a winning team, but he gets heavily involved in that offense, especially in a full PPR. You could definitely see him getting at least 5 catches a game. So go out there, go get someone like Travis Etienne who gets involved in the pass catching game. Don't get someone like a Joe Mixon because he doesn't catch the balls. Don't get someone like, I doubt you could get Derrick Henry, but someone like that where he doesn't get any receptions. What do you guys think? I'm not too high on Miles Sanders here.
Yeah, I agree. I think you should move Miles Sanders, go after an ETN type of player, in my opinion.
I'm going to be that guy right here. I'm going to be that guy. I made this trade week 2 of the fantasy football league, and I don't regret it. Okay, I don't. I'm still undefeated, and I'm going to rave about it. I traded Miles Sanders, even though he had a better season so far, for James Conner. I traded him for James Conner. As you could tell, James Conner gets utilized 90% of the game. Whether it be passing or running, I like that trade, and that's something you could get from Miles Sanders easily, my guy. Easily. Good question. I like that. Ray says, for my other league, start 2 running backs, 2 flex, 10-man PPR, Aaron Jones, Tonio Gibson, Monty, Rashad White, Ayuk, and Metcalf. Hoo, Vince, you're pretty good at these.
Oh man, I definitely like the way Gibson has been playing. I don't know who the Bears are playing this week, but Montgomery had a good game this past. Oh, they're playing the Jets.
Yes.
Oh, maybe not. But Montgomery right now is the lone back there. This past week he got 21 points. But I still like Ayuk and Metcalf, so I think they should be in there for sure. Metcalf is going to be consistent at around that 12, 13 point if you are in a PPR. Oh, you are in a PPR. So he's going to be 12, 13 points. Ayuk just had 2 touchdowns. I don't see his production falling, even though Debo is back in that offense and he's firing on all cylinders. But the Cardinals were a horrible defense this past week. We saw that just yesterday. So I think Ayuk will get back to getting more yards than he does touchdowns. So look for him to get you about 15 points as well. But I like Gibson and Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, even though the Packers did not get the dub, Aaron Jones was utilized. I think Jones and Gibson are the guys here. And Rashad White, I do like him a lot. He got a lot of yards this week, but he still is not utilized inside the red zone. So until that happens, he's not a for sure start for me. So I'm going Aaron Jones, Gibson, and then the 2 flex positions would be Ayuk and Metcalf for me.
Nice. I like that. Abraham says 1 wide receiver and 1 flex. Monty, Sanders, Sutton, and Boyd. Okay, I like Monty here just because he's going to be getting utilized a lot, especially if Justin Fields is dealing with that shoulder or dislocated shoulder. Either if he does play or doesn't, that running back position will get utilized. And then after that, as a flex, you saw Higgins get off the field due to an injury, but he did come back.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I still think I'm going Sutton here, man. As long as what's his name is out, Jared Judy.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sutton is a decent start. The past 2 weeks, he had 11 and 13 on a PPR league. So I think he consistently does that, even though Russell Wilson sucks at passing the ball right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, he does. Big time. You agree there, Reed?
Yeah, I would personally go with Boyd in my opinion. I think he has more of an upside, more of a boom crash type of deal in my opinion. But I would go Boyd.
Okay, I like it. I guess just to break the tiebreaker, I got to go with Sutton as long as Jerry Jeudy is out. Not the biggest fan of Sutton, but he's clearly the wide receiver 1 as of now. If you just want to play it safe, let me see who the Eagles are playing. Don't have them. Oh, they're playing against the Packers. Reed, you think Miles Sanders is going to have a big game against the Packers?
I don't even know any more about the Packers, man.
That's a safe bet. If you want at least 10 points, get Miles Sanders on there. I'm just going to say that. I mean, that's just safe. It's safe for me because he's going to get utilized. Bronson Hatto What's up, dude? Thank you for joining us live on Fantasy Football. It says, do I trade Zeke for Mike Evans or Amari Cooper? I like this question a lot. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of questions about Ezekiel Elliott and the backfield for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to tell you right now, he's not going to have a game like that again. They had four backfield touchdowns, 2 for
Yes.
Pollard, 2 for Zeke.
Yep.
Zeke's not going to see those easy touchdowns again. Pollard had the yardage, but for some reason, Dallas Cowboys wants to use Ezekiel Elliott in the red zone. Why give that guy a cookie? He's eating way too much already as it is. So yeah, I definitely do like this. Either guy. The safer one is Mike Evans, just because we don't know what Amari Cooper's going to look like whenever Deshaun Watson does come out. I do know he will be the wide receiver 1, but if it's a full PPR, you got to make this trade. These guys are getting the touches. But yeah, sell high on Zeke, and both those guys will be a win for you. Doesn't matter who you go with.
I would agree, and I think Rave agrees right now with his next comment. He says he's 8-3. He has 2 at his quarterback position. He's got Justin Jefferson and Amari Cooper at the wide receiver spots. He says, I'm winning this year. And this past week, you kind of were. Yeah. Justin Jefferson didn't do so hot as we saw, but Amari Cooper got 31 freaking points on a freaking PPR league. So I think you are winning there. But then he has this question. He says, how well do you think Hollywood does coming back? I'm going to throw that one to AJ because I know AJ has him on IR in I think like 2 leagues.
Yes, I do have Hollywood Brown because he was the Rondell Moore before Rondell Moore was getting those touches and before Hawkins came back. He is a point machine, but coming back off this IR, he will be limited coming out. You have Rondell Moore getting injured, and then you have the ball hog DeAndre Hopkins, and then we saw a little glimpse of Dortch last night, where Dortch looked phenomenal, and I could definitely see them trying to go a younger route. Their season's not going their way. They want to experience these younger players. Hollywood's going to have a mediocre role. So coming back, I don't see him as a starting guy. You might see him as a low tier flex position, but he will not have the same production that he has had in the beginning of the season. That's my input on Hollywood, and it's sad because I've been holding him all season long. But unfortunately, yeah. Abraham says, do I drop Boyd for Treylon Burks? I'll tell you what, my man, Jamar Chase he's out there in practice. He's got cleared of practice. He's going to be coming back. If you got the room, these guys disagree with me, but if you got the room, I'd do it. You see back-to-back weeks where this guy has had the yardage and has had the wide receiver 1 target. So it is for you, it's a mid-tier risk with a very high reward. If you keep Boyd, great, cool. But are you really going to start him when it comes to playoffs? I wouldn't. Just depending on what your lineup looks like and who you have. If you can afford to drop him, I'll take the chance. I'm all about the chance.
I would say I like Burks. Don't get me wrong. He has done great in the past 2 weeks, but I like another rookie wide receiver. Check if he's on your waiver wire because lately he's been doing great. George Pickens. The Steelers have taken a turn on their offensive side. Najee is doing well. George Pickens is doing well. And their tight end, I forgot his name. What's his name? Freiermuth, right?
Freiermuth.
Yeah.
Freiermuth is doing well as well. So I think the Steelers are taking a little bit of a turn on the offensive side. They've gotten some rhythm. And George Pickens, in the last 4 times that he's played, he's had 18, 15, and 18, all against top-tier defenses against the wide receiver position. So in my opinion, if you can find him in there, he's a guy to get for sure. I have him on one of my waiver wires because I need some points at the wide receiver spot for my flex. So in my opinion, he's a guy to start the rest of the season because he has no more defenses that are in the top 15.
He did pop off a little bit. Yeah, we haven't talked about him in a while. He also said, my bad, I forgot to include Terry and Pittman to my other question, which was this, the Monty Sanders Sutton, who should we start? If that's the case, I'd start Monty and Terry.
Yeah.
Monty and Terry.
Super consistent.
Heineke loves Terry. I love Terry. We all love Terry. You start Terry. KJ says, what are the chances Joe Mixon plays this week? I know there has been changes to the concussion protocol. With these changes, his chances have lowered with him playing this upcoming week. So he is day-to-day, basically going to be a game time decision. From the way they spoke about it and from the research I've done today, which is Tuesday, a little after 6, it does not look good. It does not look like Joe Mixon will be playing this upcoming week. Again, this is concussion protocol, so it could change within a day. But yeah, if you have a space, go out there and get Samaji just to be safe. Just to be safe. Brady or swagged out Kirk, you like that Cousins. Reed, take it. You want to talk
So
on this
I
one.
had to make this. I actually had to make this decision this week also in my
Ooh,
fantasy team because I have
perfect.
both Brady and Kirk Cousins. And the reason I'm going solely off of this one stat and this one only reason is that Kirk Cousins is playing at a primetime game this Thanksgiving. And you know what that means. He's not playing a noon o'clock game, so he doesn't know what to do. All right. You're going to have to start Brady, in my opinion. He hasn't looked hot either. So you either got to pick up and stream a quarterback or you got to go with Brady. You absolutely do not start Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins prime time is not a good idea. He played a 3 o'clock game this past week and got what he got like 2 points. Made me absolutely get demolished by AJ.
Pretty horrible.
Yeah, you have to start Brady here or pick up a stream a quarterback.
Yeah, man. Or look for guys like Geno. Geno goes up against the Raiders this week. He should pop off against that weak defense out there. But yeah, I would choose Brady for that too. He goes up against the Browns, I believe, this week. So I think he'll do just fine against the Browns.
Vincent, with all due respect,
go for it.
I highly doubt Gino's available anywhere.
Yeah, man. Honestly, he's probably like available. 50%.
I was thinking about. I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. If you got Gino, start Gino, but I highly doubt he's available. One guy who is available for is a great streaming option this week is Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota for the past 2 weeks has scored 17 or more points in the past 2 weeks, and then he's going up against a Washington defense who is ranked 20th against QBs. I like that, and then his playoff streaming schedule looks pretty darn good. Not gonna lie, but yeah, that's a guy that you need. If you need someone, pick him up. That's Marcus Mariota. He also says, in that case, since you think Hollywood is low and flex, should Mooney and Palmer start as my flexes?
I would say Mooney, yeah.
Mooney.
Yeah. If you want a solid guy who's going to just be solid, he's not probably going to get too many points. He's going to get like around 12. Mooney is the guy. But if you want someone, if you need someone to pop off, it's probably Palmer. He has a good connection with Herbert at the moment.
KJ says, is Jameson Williams worth an ad? And do you think he can be fantasy relevant this year, especially in the playoffs? I mean, Jameson Williams was the highest rated wide receiver prospect coming off the draft. I think he definitely is worth an ad if you have the spots. If you have a secure team, this is where you're starting to play a little safe, right? If you have spots available in your bench, go ahead, try it out. And there is a sliver of a chance that he is relevant for the playoffs when it comes to fantasy, just because you do have a Monteron who's, looking great. You have was it Raymond, right? Raymond, who's been playing very well. But I do think Williams will put a dent on that target share system for Detroit.
Yeah, man, especially now that they don't have a top tier tight end anymore with Hawkinson. I think Jameson Williams slides in perfectly there. Hopefully they put him in the slot, because if he's in the slot, he's going to do some damage because that boy is fast.
Yes, he is. Thanks for your advice. Of course, this is what we're here for. Y'all says Matt Ryan over Kirk this week. LOL.
I don't know, man.
Let's see. Who are the Colts playing up against? Let's just check it out right quick. The Colts are playing up against the Pittsburgh Steelers this upcoming week, who don't have the greatest defense. I mean, it was ranked pretty low, but now they do have TJ Watt back, who has been a huge factor in the defense already.
I think he's saying this more as a joke, just because you should start anybody over Kirk Cousins.
I guess so. I mean, Matt Ryan hasn't been totally horrible since he came back. But yeah, if it's a joke, sure. Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
But but yeah, this is one of the last weeks you can go out and get quarterback Deshaun Watson, who we don't really like talking about here. But I mean, if you're dealing with quarterbacks like Tom Brady and Kirk Cousins, this might be a good guy for you to go out and take a chance on, just because he's always been great fantasy wise. But after this week, I highly doubt he's going to be available. He's already owned in 52% of leagues, so it's a 50-50 chance whether he's available for you or not. Reed, take it away.
Should I trade Cordell and Jacoby Myers for Najee? I'm looking to have better running back depth. Cordell and Vincent, you like this?
Yeah, I like Najee right now.
Okay.
I know we've been bashing on him the entire year, but the guy's averaging 16 points in a PPR league. He hasn't had a game since like week 2 or 3 where he was in single digits. So
Okay.
he's been amazing.
Me personally, I just don't like a 2-for-1. In my opinion, I never like it either way. Whether you're receiving 2 players or you're giving away 2 players, I'm just not a fan of it. Especially if you're trying running back depth, I don't know. I wanted to see your a whole other team just to know fully. If you could drop your team, your whole roster, that would help us fully answer this. But I mean, Najee is a great guy to get, in my opinion. But Cordell and Jacoby, I don't know if I would trade both of those guys for Najee.
Yeah, man. I'm assuming he has a stacked team if he's willing to give up Cordero and Jacoby.
That's what I'm assuming too.
I do believe he does have a stacked team from what I remember of last time we talked. Thank you again for joining us live here, Nick. But me personally, you know my thoughts on Cordero, right? They have a 3-back by committee out there. They're sharing the ball way too many times. Jacoby Myers, I like him, but it's an inconsistent roller coaster over there. Najee, we said this last week. The Pittsburgh Steelers have finally found a solidified position for Najee Harris, and that is the first and second down back taking some third downs with him. And so his productivity has gone up as of recent weeks. As you've seen, I definitely like this trade. Make it a 2-for-1. I like it. This is a playoff times. You go out there, you trade your good to great players for great to elite players. And I think Najee is right there to that good, scratching the surface of elite for the back half of the season. I like this trade. I think you should do it. KJ says, I have Aaron Jones and Joe Mixon as my top 2 RBs. Should I be worried about their tough playoff schedules and try to trade one of them? I want to answer this, but I see the wheels turning here in Reed's head.
As far as Aaron Jones, I'm so iffy with him. It's just because the Packers are just not utilizing him. When they utilize him, when they give him 24 carries like he deserves, like he should have, he has amazing points. But the problem is we're not utilizing him. This past week he had 12 points. It had 12 carries. It's ridiculous. It really just depends on what they end up doing with Aaron Jones. If they use him, he's going to be great. But if they don't, then it's going to be, yeah, you should be worried. I as my hope, I still hope that they have give him a bunch of carries. But yeah.
Honestly, I think I would trade Joe Mixon. I like Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is going to continue to be utilized. I know Reed has a lot of insider here, but I think the Packers would be totally throwing if they didn't give Aaron Jones some passes and some little nice carries here and there. It will be inconsistent, don't get me wrong. It just depends on the gameplay of the Packers. But Joe Mixon has a very, very, very tough back half of the season going into playoffs. So I think if you could trade him to someone who has like Najee Harris, someone who has maybe even James Conner, they've been utilizing him a lot. He's healthy. Someone who has Kenneth Walker III, if you can do a straight swap, or if you had to add someone in there to sweeten up the deal, I would do it. You just need someone who's better at the back half and who has fresher legs than Joe Mixon. And in my opinion, too, the Bengals are moving away from the running game and they're going pass heavy right now, in my opinion. So that's just what I think.
Yeah, I think you should trade one of those. Or I think being worried. Yeah, it's natural. I don't care who you have back there. I got who do I have? I have CMC and I have who's the other guy? Ramondre Stevenson, and now that I have Kenneth Walker, I'm still worried. I haven't lost a damn game this season. I'm still worried. I'm looking at everyone's roster. It's okay to be worried. Those guys, they're going to do good. They are going to struggle, but Joe Mixon will always get utilized, and hopefully, if the Packers get their shit together, they're going to utilize Aaron Jones a lot because that's where they thrive. Nick Force says, "Oh, this is his roster. So, quarterback, he has Jalen Hurts, Connor Pollard, Rashad White, Raheem Mostert, Isaiah Pacheco, AJ. Basically me and Dylan form Cordero, and then Diggs, D Hop, Ayuk, DJ Moore, Myers, Travis Kelsey. You make that trade.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, you have insane depth at the running back position. I bet it's hard for you sometimes to see who's going to slide into your flex position because, oh my geez. But yeah, you have a good team with, especially at the wide receivers. Like, if you have that many running backs, you have no problems at all. So I would trade Najee, and honestly, I would trade some of those other guys that you have there, like Mostert, because you already have he already has Raheem Mostert as well as Pacheco. So those guys are going to be the back end, and those are the guys that everybody's talking about right now to go pick up. So add those guys as sweeteners to get some star players. But yeah, you could definitely upgrade that running back room. You have mid-tier running backs that are going to get you consistent points, but Pollard is the only guy that pops off there, in my opinion.
I like Paul and Connor too. You can't disregard Connor there, Vincent.
Oh, he's more of a guy who's like consistent, you know. Pollard is the guy that's like to the moon.
Dude. Ray says Titans or Cowboys defense. I hate to do this to you, Ray, but I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. It is a divisional game against the New York Giants, who did not play very well last week, and the Titans are going against Cincinnati, who just, I mean, it was a light show out there offensively, so I would not do that. I think Samaje Perine had 3 touchdowns. Joe Burrow had a day for himself, and that's just a little discouraging. And Cowboys defense are firing off in all cylinders. They had how many sacks? 6 sacks last week? 7 sacks last week?
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
And they're going to get even more against this.
The Giants? You think so?
I think so.
I don't know. I see Danny Dimes, more of a mobile quarterback to get out of those situations. And I think Saquon's a little better as far as blocking Dalvin Cook. But good question. Let's move on. I know we mentioned a little bit about Isaiah Pacheco, and I still like this guy a lot, right? The only thing that I don't like this guy is that he does not catch the ball at all. That's Jet McKinnon's, right? That's his position. Isaiah is a first, second down back. He's going to get the carries, and from the looks of it, I mean, these are the stats, right? Isaiah is the only Kansas City running back so far this season to hit over 100 yards. They like him. He's young. They're going to move forward with him. Kyle Edwards-Helaire is gone. Yes, he's injured, but they're not going to be utilizing him anymore. I could definitely see him moving forward, being a low-tier flex position spot. Rafe says, I'm mad at myself for not starting them last week, even though I would have won anyways. Oh, the Cowboys defense? Jeez, yeah, they tore up. They got 17 points?
Shoot, I think it was close to the 20s, in my opinion.
It had to have been.
Yeah.
But the Titans defense didn't do bad.
They didn't do that bad. They're all right. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. You guys got any running backs or wide receivers you want to talk about?
Shoot, I still got one more quarterback to talk about.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, he's been flying under the radar for every single league, in my opinion, because he's only owned in 13.4% of leagues. I'm going to bring up his name right now. You guys are going to be shocked. Ryan Tannehill. Now, hear me out, okay? This is not one of my blunders where I'm like, guys, he's going to do it. He's been doing it for the past 2 weeks against teams that are very good. So Denver's defense is ranked number 2 against quarterbacks, and Green Bay Packers are ranked number 8. In both of those games, he had 20-plus points as a quarterback. That's unheard of from Ryan Tannehill. Sorry, Reed. But he goes up against the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm expecting the Titans to fall behind because I think the Bengals are a really top-tier offense right now. They're playing like they did last year when they made that playoff push. So I think Cincinnati's going to run up the score, and I think Ryan Tannehill is going to try and follow that. We talked a little bit about Treylon Burks in the beginning. He's been more utilized these past 4 weeks, and that's because Ryan Tannehill is actually passing the ball efficiently. Last week, he went 22 for 27, so only 5 incompletions, and he had 2 touchdowns. So right now, I think Ryan Tannehill is playing up to par. He does have another tough game after that against the Philadelphia Eagles, but it seems that tough games are his Michael Jordan juice because he's been playing pretty well, in my opinion. I think he's a guy to start for the next few weeks until he dies down.
I like this. I've done this a couple of years before. He says, I let everyone know that everyone's available for my team and we'll see what happens. You would be getting a lot of bad trade offers. I'll tell you that. I mean, a lot of bad trade offers, but it's okay because you never know. You miss 100% of the shots you do not take. So good for you. You got to do it now because this should be the last week that you could be able to make some trades. So I'll let y'all know if I get this. Yeah, man. Let us know. We're here for you. It says our offensive coordinator is a Dewey. So if that affects
DUI.
Oh God, a DUI.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Forgot about that.
Went out to go party after the win in Green Bay.
Yeah. That blows. Just like something happened with the Cardinals offensive coordinator, right? Or offensive line coach.
Yes. Yeah.
What
I
happened?
think it was the running backs coach, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
We don't know the full details as far as what happened and what he did, but it was a Saturday night, I believe, in Mexico that he messed up. I don't know what he did. I don't know whether he just had a bad attitude, something happened in house, or he went out and partied. I have no clue what he did, but they let him go. He wasn't at the game, and he's been fired. He's gone. He's out of there. So very interesting.
That is, I read that today. I was like, wow. For you to get in trouble in Mexico, you probably did something very bad.
Hopefully he's not stuck over there, man. You know, when you do something bad there, you're not getting out.
No, they sent him on a plane on Monday.
Okay, there you go. That's good news for him, at least.
Somewhat good news. I mean, he's still in trouble, right?
Yeah.
He's out of a job.
And out of a job. But I mean, those guys get paid for them to be fine for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
Oh, anyways, going on. Running back. I'm surprised we haven't talked about this guy at all today. Running back Latavius Murray. We had some news come out. Was it Monday, yesterday, that the Denver Broncos have waived Melvin Gordon. That was a big shocker there, but that fumble in the end zone was just the last straw. He's been having fumbling issues all season long. They talked about it. He's gotten emotional about it, and now that he seems like a little salty towards the team from some of the posts that he has made. But Latavius Murray, right as of now, he has no one fighting him for that backfield spot. You have Mike Boone out there still in IR. You also had, was it Naheem Hines? Hasn't really
he's gone pretty.
So Latavius Murray does seem like a nice add-on. I know it's the Denver Broncos, but hey, I mean, he's going to be getting the touches. Horrible offense, a lot of opportunity. What can I say? But
yeah, this past week he got 17 touches. I mean, that's because Melvin Gordon was still with the team. He goes up against the Carolina Panthers this next week, and he's got a pretty decent playoff schedule. He only has 2 teams that are in the top 10 against running backs, but the way he's running right now, he's looking pretty good. So he's probably a good pickup. He's only owned in 12.2% of leagues. It's pretty insane. So he's going to be one of those hot take guys to get on the waiver wire this week.
Rick says, thanks for the advice. I'm out. I'll definitely be here next stream. Hey, we appreciate you. Hopefully you found us on our social media platforms or go out here on YouTube on our banner. You have straight links where you could join us. Try to join us on Discord as well. We're trying to grow that community, but thank you so much. DJ Nightmare 14 says, I traded away Fields last night for Jamar. Didn't realize he might be done rest of the season. Should I feel bad? Should I ask Kamish to cancel?
Good job, my friend.
We don't feel bad
Good
here.
job.
We don't feel bad here, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and plus, you shouldn't feel too bad. It is a dislocated shoulder, so he probably won't be out the rest of the season. I highly doubt that will happen. But Jamar Chase is a great pickup for you. You should be happy. Remember, this is your team. You're out there, you're competing, and you didn't know. The person who made the trade, who accepted the trade, didn't know. So it was a fair trade. Personally, I wouldn't ask for a cancel, but I mean, you're probably just a better person than I am.
Yeah, man. I currently kind of did the same thing. I traded for Tyler Lockett and I traded away Rondell Moore. And it was literally 2 days before Rondell Moore played on yesterday. So I don't feel bad at all, you know? Injuries happen. The guys will be back. So Justin Fields should come back and be okay. It was just a dislocated shoulder that he played with during the game. So he's just going to be a little sore. It's going to be a fair trade. Whatever you do, do not ask your commish to cancel.
Don't do that. Good dub for you, man. Jamar, when he comes back, especially for the playoff spot, he's going to be a great asset to your team. So good for you, man. You shouldn't feel bad. Appreciate you joining us live here on the stream. But yeah, I mean, we're on the road to 400 now. I was going to say we're on the road to 300, where we're trying to reach 300 subscribers, but we just hit 300 subscribers. I think this morning or last night. So thank you all so very much. So if you're feeling generous, hit that subscribe button. Help us grow. We're trying to get there. We're going to answer every single one of y'all's questions. Reed's back.
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
Sorry, just had to answer some work calls and stuff like that.
Hey, man, it happens. We got full-time jobs, full-time school, full-time
Yeah.
lives, man. We do this on the side, and we try to make it worth it for whoever's viewing for us.
Yes,
But
sir.
let's go ahead and move on from Latavius Murray. Do you have any other running backs, guys, before we head into the wide receiver room?
I do. We've already talked about one, Samaje Perine, so I'm not going to talk about him. He got 30 points this past week. Just depends if Mixon's going to play. But a guy I really want to talk about is an upcoming guy who everybody talked about 5 weeks ago when he came off of IR. Kyron Williams has not been a factor at all since he came off of the injured reserve list. But just these past 2 games that he's played against the Arizona Cardinals and the New Orleans Saints, who are number 9 against running backs, he's gotten 7 points in the PPR league. That first game, he had a couple catches, and this past game, he got 7 carries. So his snaps are going up, his carries are going up, and he has the best, and I'm saying the best running back half of the season. Everybody is in the 20s except for the Denver Broncos, but he plays them in week 16. Everybody else is 23 and up against running backs. I think that Kyron Williams will be used, especially since Darrell Henderson just got waived today. So look for Kyron Williams in there. He's available in 96.6% of leagues. So he's out there. He's averaging 7 points in the past 2 weeks when he's been healthy. So he's worth a slot on your bench right now. He could be a guy that pops off. You never know. The Rams aren't doing too hot. I think they need to help Stafford out. And Kyron Williams is good, a good pass catcher. So look him up.
You like Kyron Williams more than Cam Akers?
Well, Cam Akers is unhappy there. I think Cam Akers and Kyron Williams split snaps. And I think Kyron Williams has more of a drive there to make his name known because he's still a guy he's a rookie. He came off IR. He had a lot of hype coming into the league. So I think he's going to try to show out and try to get some, I guess, money going in there. You know, he's still on that rookie deal. We'll see what happens there. But I think he's a guy who could be good going forward, especially into next year.
Nice. Well, if that's all you got for running backs, we could go ahead and head into the wide receiver position. One guy we kind of talked about is Treylon Burks. He's getting a lot more usage in that team now that he's fully healthy and now that Ryan Tannehill is a quarterback instead of Malik Willis, which looks like he could be a bust. Not going to say too much there. But another guy is Donovan Peoples-Jones. We talked about him last week. I even took a chance. I had a lot of people out due to bye weeks and injuries and stuff like that. So I went ahead and picked up Donovan Peoples-Jones. I started him in my active roster. And guess what? I mean, He did well. He got six targets and 1 touchdown. He finally broke the non-touchdown streak, scored. It was towards the very end of the game, but he did it. He saw the end zone. He got the yardage. He's getting utilized. But same scenario with Amari Cooper. We don't know what's going to happen whenever Deshaun Watson does come back. So that's something to keep an eye on. But he's available right now, who has a very bright upside.
All right.
I would agree.
I'm gonna go with my guy Christian Watson.
Oh, again?
Yes, I'm gonna go with him. This is probably your last week you're gonna be able to pick him up. He's right now rostered in 52% of leagues right now. So and I think that's gonna go up after this next week. So make sure you get him this week. But guys, he's had 5 touchdowns in the past 2 games. That's crazy. Such a huge turnaround from the beginning of his season. But the big thing is, he's going to continue getting those targets and those touchdowns. I don't know if he's going to get multiple touchdowns just because this has been crazy and I did not predict this. But at the end of the day, he has had what I'm saying here. Romeo Dobbs is going to be out these next 2 games, and then he's going to come back after the bye week after that. So he's not going to play until week 15. So Christian Watson has another 2 games he's going to play that he's going to be the majority of the pass catcher. Ryan O'Connell will catch a few things, Robert Tonyan, etc., these other guys. But Christian Watson, Alan Lazard, Christian Watson is looking like our main guy go to when Aaron Rodgers needs to play. So you got to pick up Christian Watson. If you don't, then hey, you're making a big mistake here.
Nice. I want to bring up this one just because I saw something that I watch a YouTuber called Bengal. If you guys can go watch him, he plays Madden. But I know Big Trev watches him for sure because he knows the name Vanilla Vic.
I was about to say.
That's what the Bengals. That's what Bengal calls Daniel Jones. So I know that Big Trev has Daniel Jones because he's a Vanilla Vic type guy when he made some good runs in his rookie year. But he says he's favored. His only other option is Trevor Lawrence. He says he also has the Ravens D, so I'm not liking playing both. And then he's asking for our thoughts. In my opinion, Vanilla Vic, aka Daniel Jones, has been playing pretty decent, but so has Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence has had 17 points, 4 out of the 5 past weeks that he's played. So in my opinion, I think either guy is good to start. The Ravens D is not that scary. They do get a couple sacks in there, and they do have guys who can get interceptions. But I think T-Law and Vanilla Vic will be fine, whoever you play. He says he also has Donovan Peoples-Jones, Thielen, or Rondell if he plays a full PPR. I don't know if he's asking for us to pick 2 of them or anything like that, but I would go Donovan Peoples-Jones and Thielen for sure. But if Rondell Moore is available, he's a guy who does get the ball quite often, but I think they will get away from passing him the ball too much.
Definitely like Donovan Peoples-Jones, and I appreciate you bringing the name Vanilla Vic into my life. I've never heard that until now, and I absolutely love it. Vanilla Vic, that's awesome. But yeah, I think either guy should be good. I know the Cowboys defense, they're looking pretty good, especially what they did last week with 7 sacks. So yeah, that is a little scary, but you call it Vanilla Vic for a reason, right? He could use his legs, so he could get out of those situations. But one thing that does scare me is that he lost another wide receiver, which is Wan'Dale Robinson. So that's pretty big there. So that could be worrisome. But yeah, I feel like you're gonna get very similar production from either both those guys. But I take my chances with Vanilla Vic. That's just me. And yeah, Donovan Peoples-Jones in a full PPR. We just talked about him. He's getting the production. This past week was very low, where she had 6 targets, but normally he gets 7 to 9 targets, and then he finally found the end zone. Last week, he's being consistent for the past 4 weeks or so. I like him a lot more than Thielen or Rondell, especially Rondell is injured. But there you go. Vanilla Vic. I like that a lot.
Super funny. All right. You got any other wide receivers, Reed? I got one that I want to talk about for sure.
No, go ahead, man.
All righty. So I already talked about George Pickens earlier in this video. If you don't know, he's been playing pretty well. So go ahead and see if he's on your waiver wire. But another guy I want to talk about that I've been talking about for the past 2 weeks, he hasn't slowed down yet. His name is Darius Slayton. Since week 7, he's had 11 points or higher in fantasy. So it's 14, 11, 18, and 13. But now he goes to play Dallas, who is a way better defense than they are ranked. They're ranked 18th against wide receivers in fantasy. But in my opinion, they've been playing like they're a top 5 defense against wide receivers. So Darius Slayton is a guy to get for sure, but I would waiver on playing him this week. He is only rostered in 14.9% of leagues, but he is a guy who can get you decent points in the flex position if you really need it. He's not a for sure starter for the rest of the season, but he does have some good matchups coming in week 14 and 15 when you'll need him to get into the playoffs. So he's a good guy to have for the time being.
I totally agree. I was thinking about putting Darius Slayton onto my waiver lineup, but I was like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like it's kind of like a Kadarius Toney type player, where it's just disappointment. But there's a huge chance where he does get utilized now that that wide receiver room is just decimated with all these injuries. But I think that's all I got for wide receivers. I know tight end is usually your thing. You did say one tight end that I have in my waiver list, Vince, and that is Juwan Johnson. He has now racked up 5 touchdowns in the last 5 weeks. He also had 40+ receiving yards in 4 of the last 6 weeks. So he's looking good. And with those kind of numbers, those are right behind people like Travis Kelce and Cole Kmet. And yes, I did say Travis Kelce. This guy's putting up good numbers so far. Can he keep it up? I don't know, but I mean, he's a good chance to take whenever he's rostered at 14% of leagues. So if you need a good tight end or a decent tight end that's available, I think this is your guy.
Yeah, man. I really only want to talk about one other tight end. If you want my other references on tight ends, watch our last video that we just came out with on Monday. Me and Reed were on, and I talked a little bit about some guys to get. But one other guy that I haven't talked about, his name is Austin Hooper. Oops, I took him off real fast. Austin Hooper has been playing pretty well the past 2 weeks. He's got 5 receptions in week 10 and 4 receptions against the Green Bay Packers. Sorry, Reed. But he scored 2 touchdowns. He had 4 receptions, 2 touchdowns. So he is a guy that they utilize inside of the red zone. He comes and he plays Cincinnati. So just like I said, Ryan Tannehill has been throwing the ball a lot more, and he's been very efficient. So right now, I think the Titans are on a roll. I think Austin Hooper could play a vital position in keeping them in the game with the Bengals. So I think Austin Hooper is a guy who consistently gets 4 to 5 receptions, and he's getting utilized inside the red zone. So he is also a guy who could get you above that 10-point mark. And as AJ always says, if you have a guy that's getting more than 8 points at the tight end position, you're winning most of the time. So get Austin Hooper. He's a guy who's only owned in 1% of leagues.
Damn. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, I guess that's all we got for tight ends. So our last segment here, guys, is one of my favorites. I think my new favorite is the running back position, but another position that I like is the defense. So if you're like me, I like to stream my defense every other week or every week to get the best possible outcome for your team and for you to win your game. Now, these are the defenses that I like. One, I like the Dolphins going against the piss poor Texans offense. The Dolphins are at home. They have reinforced that defensive front, so I could definitely see them dominating defensively. They should be out there, should be available. Another team that I do like are the Broncos going out there to visit the Carolina Panthers. Not very high in the Broncos, but their defense has been very consistent, and the Panthers can't figure out who's going to be throwing the ball for them. I know I could go out there. I know Elijah Moore could go out there and pass out the ball. Maybe they go trade for Zach Wilson. We don't know, but we have Sam Darnold coming in who has not seen a snap in the past 3 decades. But yeah, Broncos defense should do fairly well. Up next, I highly doubt that these guys are available, especially with the smack-a-down performance that they had last night, which is the San Francisco 49ers playing at home against the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints can't put up points offensively, but the 49ers defense have proven week to week that they are a force to be reckoned with defensively, especially for fantasy purposes. Last team I want to talk about, highly doubt they're available. Well, actually, these guys should be available, are the Kansas City Chiefs at home going against the Rams. This time, Matthew Stafford actually has concussion before it was registered that it wasn't even a concussion. His wife came out and said, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's dealing with his own personal issues. I don't care. They're a mess. They lost Darrell Henderson. They lost Cooper Kupp. I don't know what they're doing offensively. They should just quit as a franchise and move to another city and waste some more money. They should not have won that Super Bowl last year. It should have been the San Francisco 49ers. I'm telling you right now, mark it down. Go get yourself Kansas City Chiefs right now, and we'll help you guys out in your fantasy football game week 12.
Jeez, I thought for a little while this was 49er talk for a little bit. Gosh dang.
Kind of transition, right? Just a little bit.
Man. I just want to boast a little bit too. I think you should go pick up the Seahawks defense. They have been getting decent amount of sacks. They get a turnover every single game, no matter who they've played. You can check that and give me some stats on that too. But the Seahawks are a decent team. If you are getting negative points or 1 point to 2 points, pick up the Seahawks too if they're available. They should be because nobody has them. But they are averaging 5 to 7 points every single week. So if you need those points here or there to get over and get some dubs in there, the Seahawks could have a good game against the Raiders since they are a little bit dysfunctional in a couple of weeks. And it's going to be played at our home turf in Seattle. So I think that we could definitely make some noise and get a few turnovers there. So
yeah, they're ranked 12th in defense in fantasy football. They just came off a bye week. They had 4 points the week prior and then 8 points before that. But against the New York Giants, they had 13 points. So we can see.
They pop off every now and then. You just gotta pick them when you can. So I think against the Raiders, they're pretty good.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Reed, you got anything else before we head out of here?
No, sir.
Awesome. Appreciate every single one of you guys joining us here live. If you weren't able to make the live stream from the beginning, check out our waiver wire video, which was posted earlier today, who to pick up for week 12. And until next time, everyone, keep on grinding.